Hey, I'm so frustrated with myself because I've already filmed this, or at least I thought I did, and I never hit the record button. But here we are. So today we are going to be talking about the new Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey palette. It's been sitting on my dresser for far too long and I had to start playing with my makeup. It came in a beautiful cardstock here with all the ingredients in the back, and the print is there on the front. It opens like an envelope, which is quite cute. I'm very happy with that packaging there. So you can see it's a little bit thicker than the one from last year that looked more like a traditional palette. But I think this looks a little bit more luxe, and for the price tag, I like it. It has the ribbons just like the one from last year, and it does come with, I think, 18 shades just like the one from last year. But unlike the one from last year, it comes with 4 mattes, and it is absolutely stunning. I swatched all of the eyes recording previously, and I wasn't, but I did not wash them off. So I'm going to show you here the swatches, and I will try to read off the names for you. Hopefully I do it correctly. So here we have Citrine Envy, which is a metallic green. Then we have Palladium, Corrupt Copper, Nirvana, Solar Flare, Bronzed Eclipse, Heavenly Body, which is a dual chrome. It is a peach to a, like, with a gold shift. We have Electric, Lunar Haze, which I'm not sure you can catch on camera, but it is like a lavender shade. Then we have Lotus Luxe. I was worried you couldn't hear me behind my arm. Then we have here Sunrose Amber, Galactic Glow, Nocturne, and Bronze Nova. On this side we have Noir Moon, Gold Galaxy, Rose Venus, and Saturn Sunset. I love all these shades. If you're new to my channel, my name is Samantha and I am a makeup enthusiast. Makeup is my therapy. If you feel the same, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can come back and see more content with me. Now let's get into the demos. So let's get started. So I'm gonna use my Milani eye primer, which is what I always use. It's taking me ages to finish this one up. Not that I'm complaining. So I think we're gonna do 2 looks with this palette, and on this side I'm gonna do something more subdued and neutral, and then on this side I'm gonna do something a little bit more unexpected. So let's get started. So I'm gonna use my Milani eye primer, which is what I always use. It's taking me ages to finish this one up. Not that I'm complaining, but so we got the primer on, and the first shade I want to dip into is going to be this one right here, and the name is on the back. Let me make sure. All right, so if I'm looking at this correctly, this shade right here that I'm going to use is called Sunrose Amber. So that's going to be the shade that I'm going to use in my crease, and I'm just taking a fluffy brush. This is a BH Studios Pro, and I don't think, I went on their site and they don't have like any of the individual brushes that I used to buy, like all the vegan ones, or they called it their vegan line. So I don't know what's up with that. I hope they bring them back, because I would hate to want to buy like a whole set every time. And they have some individual brushes, but I don't know. They don't look like the ones that I used to buy. I'm glad I purchased a ton. It's going on nice and pigmented. Should probably bring you in a little bit closer. Hi. It has a nice warm tone to it, which I'm happy about because the look I was thinking about doing. I'm going to use that orangey shade. So that blended very, very nicely. Quite happy with that. It's nice and soft. I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush. Another BH brush. This is number 17. The other one was number 5. And I'm going to go into the darker brown right there, and that shade is called Nocturnal. I'm really excited and happy that she gave us mattes this time. Just placed it. Now I'm going to blend it. Alright, I think that looks quite nice. I'm happy with that. It didn't really take much effort, which was great. And then the next shade I want to do is that orange right there, which is called Solar Flare. This shade was a shade that I was like skeptic about because as much as I love an orange eyeshadow, for some reason when I see a pop of orange in a palette, I get turned off. I don't know what it is. That is pretty. How foolish was I? And look how nice and easily that went on. I feel like a pumpkin in the best way. Oh, do you see that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And look, I still have so much on my finger. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. You really, they're so pigmented. I'm going to take that Nocturnal shade and just slightly, I'm trying to be ever so careful because these are so much more pigmented than we got from the previous palette that I can't even begin to describe. The mattes are a little dusty, but that's fine. I don't mind that. I'm very light-handed. A lot of times when it creates a little dust, I just pick up just that the next time. And I'm just going to go over with that first brown, the Sunrose Amber, and just go around the edges. That's really pretty. Alright. And then I'm going to take the shade that's right next to the orange one. It's like hard to see on camera. It's like a silver color, but it looks a little bit like a pewter, like a taupey pewter. And that one is called, oh, you know what, that orange shade was actually called Corrupt Copper. My bad. The next shade I'm going to use is called Palladium. All right, I'm going to use this kind of in the front half. And in, you know, my inner corner, so to speak. And just blend it with my fingers. Wow, that looks super pretty. And those blend really, really easily. And again, like so much product still on my finger. You really don't need very much. So I think this is it with this side. Obviously I don't have any foundation or anything like that on, but once I get it, you'll see the full effect with mascara. But I think that's the overall look. It happened so quickly, I can't even believe it. All right, so for this side, I wanted to do something a little bit different. And so what I'm thinking of, and this can be a total flop, we'll see, is taking that really dark shade there. It's called Noir Moon, and use that as my outer V like color. I might use, what I'm gonna do first though is go in with, so I'm gonna go in with Saturn Sunset in my crease on this side. So it's a pretty rose shade. Wow, these are, I feel like, are way more pigmented than the other mattes in the even like Utopian palette. And I put extra primer on. I don't know. I feel like I'm at a loss of words of how good these shadows are performing right now. I'm gonna have to go back and use all my other ones and see if it was me or if it's just this palette is so much better. So I think that's a good place to start. Just gonna try to blend those edges a little bit more. All right, I think that's a nice little gradient we have there. And then I'm going to go into that New York Moon shade with a fluffy brush because I'm going to use this as my outer V. You can't even see the shadow on there, can you? It has like these beautiful specks of glitter. I'm not sure if you can catch that on camera, but we will find out when I edit. So it doesn't really go on with the brush very well. Actually, when I wipe it on my hands, all you're getting is glitter. So let's go in with the finger. That looks much more promising. Let's put it on with my finger and then try to blend it out. Not too bad for... I used to do all my makeup with my hands. Like all my eyeshadow, everything. I had brushes, but I don't know, something about getting it on with your fingers and it's just so satisfying. Now I'm sure I could wet my brush and do all that, but I would not be me if I did that, because that's just not how I do it. You guys would probably think I'm nuts, but I just don't always love the idea of wetting the brush. Okay. That I think looks pretty good. I'm gonna go back in with the sunset, the something sunset shade, and try to like blend the edges just a little. I think that looks okay. I have obviously follow all here, but I'll clean that up. That's definitely not a shade to use after you've done your foundation. That's for sure. So my plan is to take this pink here called Lotus Luxe. I think that's what it's called because, you know, I feel it's backwards on the back of the palette. And I'm going to put this on the rest of my lid. Those two pink shades blend perfectly together. I feel like the pink with the black needs a little help. It's okay. I think we got there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. All right, and then we're gonna take this shade here, which is called Galactic Glow, and put that in the inner tear ducts area. And I just like to bring it up a little to make my eyes appear a little bit larger because they are quite small. I don't know about you, but I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to do the rest of my face. I can't believe how quickly I did these looks. It's unreal. And I think they look very different. So I'm going to finish the rest of my face and then we can talk about my feelings. So my final thoughts here on the palette, I created these two looks. And I have to say I was really impressed on how quickly I could come up with the looks and apply them to the eye. They were extremely pigmented, extremely blendable. I feel like this was the palette I wanted, I needed from Pat McGrath. It's beautiful. So this side, the idea was something a little bit more neutral, and wow, I didn't expect that orange to pack the punch that it did, but I'm not mad at it whatsoever. This side was a little bit more difficult. So this black shade Noir Moon here, it's very, very lovely. You can see it has a gorgeous glitter to it, but I will tell you it is difficult to apply it with a brush. The glitter does not quite stick to the pigment, so you can literally just dust it all over your face. And it has a lot of fallout, so I would recommend using that shadow prior to doing the rest of your face, which I'm happy I did today. That is not the typical steps of routine that I use, but I am grateful that that's what I did today for that reason. Now once you apply it, it does look quite nice, and it was kind of easy to move it around. I did have to apply with my finger. I would recommend using a glitter glue. You could wet your brush. I don't always love a wet brush look because I just feel like if you're going to use it the way I did on an outer V, you're not going to be able to move it around and blend it that well. It would look quite nice though on the lid that way, but I still even then would recommend a glitter glue because I do feel like the glitters aren't going to last. Like in a couple hours, the black might still be there on my eyelid, but the glitters will not be. But if there's only one dud in the palette, I'm not going to complain about that. I didn't get to use all of the shadows on my lid, so I can't really speak for all of it. But as a first impression, I think the palette was really, really lovely. I love the packaging, and I'm quite happy with the purchase. This is probably by far my favorite palette or product that I have. No, I wouldn't say that. I love the foundation and the concealer. Like that's it for me. But as far as eyeshadow goes, this is my favorite one for sure. So if you were thinking about picking up this palette, I would say 100% go for it. And I just want to let people know, because if you're thinking about buying a collection from Pat McGrath, if you sign up for the join the waitlist prior to the launch, she always emails a coupon code to purchase the collection after. And most of the time it's only like 10%, but 10% for the price range of what she is giving you the products for is a lot of money that you could be saving. And with taxes or whatever, like it might even itself out, but it's still better than nothing. So I would definitely recommend that, like in the future, if you're thinking about getting a Pat McGrath collection and it's about to launch, to sign up to join the wait list. And she does occasionally have sales for like 25% off the whole site too. So if you do hold off, you might find it. But these holiday palettes tend to be like a limited edition. So if you're thinking about it, I would jump on that soon. This is by far my favorite Pat McGrath palette. I'm not mad at it whatsoever. And I'm really quite happy with the two looks that I came up with. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. That's fine. It lets me know how you feel. And if you have any comments, did you buy this palette? Are you thinking about buying this palette? Do you have opinions about Pat McGrath? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until next time, love you guys. Bye.